if any of you guys are not familiar with black comedy, you really should be. Up next we have Stephen Oliver, and I don't think he really needs an introduction all that much, but you know what, all I will say is, can't even marriage equality? What's this then, slut?
Damn it, I was going to say that line. There goes my only joke. Before I start, I would also like to acknowledge the traditional owners, and I would also like to acknowledge that the fight for equality for gay and Aboriginal people is far from over. Now, I hope you don't mind, but I thought I would give you all just a brief history lesson on some legislation that existed in this state. From 1901, the marriage of female Aborigines to non-Aborigines was prohibited unless permission in writing had been given by certain protectors. This prescription was not confined in its effect to the marriage of non-Aboriginal men to Aboriginal women. When two half-caste, I hate that word, bad word people, but when two half-caste sought to marry, the bureaucratic position was that if they associate with blacks, the consent of the chief protector must be obtained. That the 1901 law regarding marriage infringed basic citizenship rights was not lost on all parliamentarians. One member of the Legislative Assembly commenting, "Now I maintain that we have no right to treat these Aboriginals or half-caste as if they were slaves, and yet this bill proposes to treat them as slaves. By a clause of this bill, we find that any person is absolutely prohibited from marrying either a half-caste or an Aboriginal, no matter what age they be, without the permission of the protector. I do not think that is a power that should be given either to the Home Secretary or the protector." Of course, this statement could be read as a lament that white men were now being restricted in their choice of wives, but the comments reveal an awareness of the discriminatory nature of the legislation, regardless of the rhetorical purposes to which the comments were put. The restriction on the marriage of Aboriginal women was a restriction upon their citizenship rights, which the architects of the restriction clearly knew. Now I'm just going to read you a marriage certificate that I've come across. The consent of John William Bleakley, Deputy Chief Protector of Aboriginals, was given to the marriage of the female Aboriginal Nellie to George Smarty, the said Nellie being under the age of 21 years. Having been duly authorised under Section 99, the Aboriginal Protection and Restriction of the Sale of Opium Act, to give permission in writing for the celebration and the marriage of female Aboriginal with persons other than Aboriginals. Now, George and Nellie were my great-great-grandparents. If they wouldn't have allowed marriage, you wouldn't have got so much fabulousness, I'd like to add. Now look, when I read something like that and I get upset about it or I feel something about it, it really annoys me when people say to me, "Oh, well, you know, people were just doing what they thought was best." Because that's a bullshit excuse. What people should be saying to me is that shit was wrong and it should never happen again. You see, this country finds itself in a choice. We have a choice to do what we think is best, or we have a choice to do what we know is right. Sorry, it's getting a bit emotional. But yes, we have that choice. And for those people who might be unsure, I can guarantee you that in 100 years from now, if you say yes to marriage equality, the history books will look back and tell you you were right. So it's time to cut the bullshit. It's time to stop discriminating, and it is time for marriage equality. Thank you. Now before I go, I'm just going to read a poem that I wrote about 15 years ago. And you know, I think it's crazy that a poem I wrote 15 years ago still has relevance today, but if anything to go by our legislation from over 100 years ago still has relevance today, which, you know, is just some crazy shit. So anyway, this is to all the homophobe politicians. Because, you know, being a politician doesn't mean you're not, you know, a homophobe or a racist. I'm just putting that out there. You sit there and start judging me, already to accuse. Set to tell the whole world of your narrow-minded views. Like how I'm wrong to yearn a child because I've chosen to be gay, and that if I were to have a son, he might turn out that way. Your ignorance is so absurd, injustice fills our plight. See, you're nothing more than a petty thief who takes away my rights. Who takes away my rights in an attempt to take my hope. See, I'm only a minority, so you needn't have my vote. Now, what is it so frightening you need bind me by your laws? Telling me of my rights when I don't have all of yours? And just as it was different laws for those with darker skin, but instead of outer layers, you attack what lies within. Love. I dreamt a land of equality, don't make me out a fool. It's time for marriage equality, it's time to change the rules. Thank you.